Hey guys, I'm Ava, and let's talk about Pokemon. So today, we're going to be talking about the 10 most expensive cards that have come out so far this year. So it's going to be pretty interesting actually, because what made it onto the list was pretty surprising to me, and also some of the things that didn't make it onto the list. And also, it's really interesting to compare this to around the same time last year when I made a similar video that you don't have to go watch because it's not that good. But the list has definitely gotten more affordable than it was last year, and I think this is for a couple of reasons. The first is, of course, that it's no longer the 25th anniversary. We're not being bombarded with so many products like what we were last year. Granted, we're still having a lot of releases. Pokemon Go just came out, and then we have Lost Origin coming out in September, but it's definitely gone back to a more moderate pace than what we were seeing last year. So we also don't have as many sets that are super top heavy. We have a lot of, well-rounded sets, I should say. I think the trainer gallery is definitely a big part of that, but we don't have sets like Evolving Skies where there are a bunch of cards worth well over $100 that are really hard to pull. So last year this list was actually really dominated by Evolving Skies, but I think it's a bit more balanced this year, definitely, more affordable, and I think that's a good thing because I don't think that these new cards should be so insanely expensive. So I'm actually really happy to see that the cards have gotten more affordable, despite the fact that we have such high quality cards coming out this year, so many cool cards in the main sets, which is really exciting to see. The second reason is, of course, that this year the hype has definitely died down, whether it's because people just got bored of the hobby, or maybe a lot of scalpers are gone, people aren't making as much money from it, things just make more sense. So it's a bit less sexy to those types of people, but that's more than okay by me. So what I think is probably that the same card that were to come out today, if it came out a year ago, it would still be cheaper now, so it would be more expensive if it came out a year ago just because there was hype. So everything was a bit inflated, but now, things are getting a little bit more affordable, and of course that's all relative. We still have cards on this list that are over $100 each, which is insane for a main set card that has come out in the past like 6 months or so, but there are definitely cool cards on this list. Also some that I think maybe shouldn't be on the list, but they are. This is going to be the Starmie V from the trainer gallery. So this is the one that features Misty in a pool. This card is really awesome. I love the aesthetic of it and how bright it is, and just the cartoon aesthetic looks so good to me. I definitely see why this one is on the list, and I'm actually surprised that some other ones didn't make it onto the list. This is the only card from a trainer gallery on here. I think this will probably change with the release of Lost Origin, which is going to be featuring a Charizard, as well as several Pikachu cards in its trainer gallery. But for now, this one is really, really cool. I'm surprised that the Garchomp with Cynthia on it also didn't make it on this list, because that I would assume would be like a similar price. It's a little bit cheaper than this one though, so it didn't quite make it on the list. Next up in 9th, we actually have the Arceus V alt art from Brilliant Stars, which is only going for $40, which is absolutely insane to me because this card is so beautiful. I don't understand why it is cheaper than some other cards on this list, specifically the next one, which is going to be the Hisuian Sneasler V from Astral Radiance. This is the alt art version. It looks okay. It is an alt art, so the art style is definitely better than the average card, but if you ask me, it's a bit of a waste of an alt art, and I would have loved to see some other cards get some spotlight there. I think the Pokemon they're choosing are pretty random lately. I think that they could definitely curate which ones they did, and the sets would do a lot better. But of course, you can drag out the releases this way, and I just would really love to see an Entei alt art, but I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would love to see that. But the next card on this list, because I don't really want to talk about that one for too long, is gonna be the Rainbow Rare Mewtwo V-Star from Pokemon Go. This one actually just lost to the next card by 50 cents, so this one's going for $48 currently. It's a cool card. It's one of the most expensive in the Pokemon Go set. Not surprising because Mewtwo is, of course, the mascot for the set, and this is one of the rarest printings of it in the set. It's a cool card. I don't really love Rainbow Rares. It's okay. But the card that beat it out by 50 cents is the Alt Art Mewtwo V from the same set. Really cool card. Obviously, they're kind of employing that CGI aesthetic, that AI aesthetic that they're going for in Pokemon Go. It's a pretty cool card. I think that they could have gone in other directions that would have been a bit more aesthetically pleasing, but I do still want this card for my collection, and below $50 is a pretty reasonable price to pay for it. The alt art premium has gone down so much since we had, battle styles first come out, like it's so much more affordable to get these cards now, whether they're just more abundant or because the pull rates are easier and there are more of them. So there's only a limit to how much people can spend on Pokemon. So right, if they're printing 1 million of these, they're gonna get cheaper. But it's still a really, really cool card to see on the list, and I hope we get more legendaries with alt arts, because a lot of the cards that are getting alt arts, like I said, were like Sneasler or just more fan favorite Pokemon. Obviously, we're getting a good mix of both, but still would love to see that. Next up, we have the Origin form Dialga V alt art from Astral Radiance. Really cool card. Not as cool as the next card on the list though, which is of course the alt art Palkia from the same set. That one's going for $51 currently. Really awesome cards, both of these. I think honestly that they should probably cost more just because they're so cool. That's not me saying I think they'll go up in price. This is just my opinion, in that I would pay more than $50 for one of these cards if I absolutely had to. Fortunately, for the one I really want, don't have to. Actually pulled it, was really awesome. Never happens to me to get my actual chase card, so I do love that card. And I like the artistic direction they're going, which they're going to continue in Lost Origin, it seems, with the Giratina alt art. So I'm really happy that the Pokemon Company is being more adventurous with the art styles like we used to see way back in the day, back in the WotC era, and as well like e-readers, which is like the end of WotC, the beginning of Nintendo. They did so much more with the art that made it so much more unique, which is really, really cool. And now we're getting back there. Obviously, it's very different because the quality is a little bit higher now in terms of the art, so it doesn't have that same charm. But you can kind of see the fact that they're realizing that people really do consider these to be art in a way, which is really cool to see them actually play into that. So I'm really, really happy with both of these cards, and I think once the Giratina comes out, it'll definitely be on this list. The Japanese one is currently really, really expensive from Lost Abyss, so I think we can expect the same from English. Not nearly that expensive, but I think it's going to be a desirable chase card. So surprising nobody, in third place is the Rainbow Rare Charizard V-Star from Brilliant Stars. It had to be on this list somewhere. It's Charizard. Any high rarity Charizard is going to be on this list, and this one is no exception. Doesn't really do much for me. It's okay. Again, Rainbow Rares, not really my thing, so I have a bit of a bias against them. The second place on this list is a bit of a sleeper though. It's actually the Machamp V alt art from Astral Radiance. Now I say that because I remember distinctly when this set came out, I remember looking at the prices of the cards on the list, and it was in third place below the Dialga and the Palkia. And I remember looking at it a few hours later, and it was over $100. This card seems like it got bought out at the beginning, or maybe the price just took a moment to be realized, but it has stayed above $100 since, and it's currently going for like $110, which is really expensive for this card. Don't get me wrong, I really like the art on it for the same reasons that I like the art of the other alt arts that I was just talking about, the Dialga and the Palkia. It is really stylistic, which I like, but I'm just surprised to see it edge out these other two. Machamp is a popular Pokemon, I guess, but you know, I don't think it's as cool as the Palkia. Again, personal bias. So there was quite a price jump from these top three to the ones below them. We're talking $90 plus, and then below like $60. And then in first place, I don't know if anybody's surprised by this, but it is going to be the Charizard alt art from Brilliant Stars. Okay, I will say this is a really cool card. It featuring Venusaur and then being in a battle is actually really awesome, and it's such a dynamic card. So I do see why it's so expensive. For me, if I were going to buy one of these high-end Charizards, it would be this one because it's so unique. The other ones I don't think are really all that unique, particularly when you consider the fact that we're constantly getting new hyper rares, like rainbow rares, all of those things for Charizard. You know, we've already had Rainbow Rare Charizard, VMAX, all of those cards, so I don't really think the V-Star is all that special, whereas this alt art one is. And if alt arts don't stay a thing forever, or even if they do, I think this one is going to hold its value pretty well in the long run. Granted, it might dip in, you know, the near to midterm, but I think this is a really fantastic card, and you know, it is a Charizard card, but it does have a lot of uniqueness to it, especially in a time when we're being flooded with Charizard cards. I say that, and in the very next set, we're also going to have a Charizard that kind of looks like an alt art because, you know, the trainer gallery, like, effectively is a bunch of alt arts. But that said, this one is really fantastic and really unique, so I see why that's in first place. Let me know what you guys think of this list. What is your personal favorite on it? And do you think there are any that deserve to be on this list that are not? I can certainly think of a few, and I think this list is definitely going to continue to change, especially once we see the release of Lost Origin and then our winter set this year. So I'm really excited for that. Thank you guys so much to my patrons, in particular Chris and Jake. Thank you guys so much for always supporting my channel, and like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.